Hey, what's up, fam? And welcome back again to Recap Kickback presents the interview with the vampire recap podcast. And this is the season one finale of Interview with the Vampire. It's me, your host, Chappell, and I am here to talk to you once again about one of my favorite shows. What I would argue is probably one of the best shows on TV right now as we prepare for the newest season that is coming around the corner. What date that is, I do not know. But with me, someone who is a vampire enthusiast and watching Interview with the Vampire for the very first time, it's Mari. Mari, we did it.
We did it. We did it, Joe. Yes. What a fantastic ending to season one. This show, it really is remarkable. And they did a really good job of um having season one in the middle of the original book, plot wise. Uh but we'll get to that. But it's such a great season finale for real.
Yeah, if you are here for the first time, we're doing a spoiler-free review of Interview with the Vampire, episode by episode. We normally do them in pairs, but since the finale was the finale, we're just doing the one here, and then we will be back to talk about season two after we wrap this all up. We'll be back next week to talk about that. But yeah, please make sure you subscribe to the podcast, recapkickback.com/subscribe or youtube.com/@recapkickback so that you can keep up with our Interview with the Vampire coverage and the other things that we have going on here. Right now, we have a Flavor of Love recap going. We have Abbott Elementary coverage every time a season drops. And then James Jones and I talked about The Wire. Mari and I talk about various other topics. We have guests. We do a whole thing here on Recap Kickback, but I really wanted to focus on one of Mari's interests in vampires, and what better way than talking about this amazing show. So as we enter our finale, we knew that the last episode, Claudia says, we gotta kill Lestat. Louis, you want to kill Lestat. I know you do. So let me handle this. We're gonna make it happen. So Mari, one of the first questions, of course, you have to ask yourself is, how do you kill an immortal being? And we see them have that discussion with Daniel Malloy as he's used. I think they're in session number 7 of him and Louis talking and doing this interview with the vampire. So Daniel asks, how do you kill a vampire? And I think it was like the common things that we know, right? Like,
Right.
decapitation is one that I've heard before, obviously.
Yeah.
Burning them. But Mark, what happened to was a stake through a heart? Didn't that used to be a thing?
Yes. Well, so that is a thing, but it's all with conjunction, depending on um how old and how powerful the vampire is, right?
Clearly.
So you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that you want to make sure that vampire is dead. So you should do as many of the above as possible, right? So stake through the heart. That's the original, Dracula, Van Helsing, stake through the heart, decapitation. Stake through the heart, decapitation is like, you got it. But then it's also stake through the heart, decapitation, dismember the body, burn it, scatter the ashes in different areas. If you are dealing with a very, very powerful vampire, you want to make sure they stay dead. It's one of those things. It is not easy to kill an immortal vampire, immortal being.
Okay, and so because this is a recap and you've obviously watched this episode, if you're listening to this, let's just jump into my biggest concern here. Knowing that everything that Mari just told us, Mari, what is Louis doing?
He did not do that. That's for sure.
Man, Mari, what was going through your mind when you see this scene? Louis finally gets the chance. He has Lestat dead to rights. He slices his neck. We watch the blood pour from his neck. They watch him bleed out on the floor. His eyes roll back. Claudia and Louis standing over his body. And then he's like, I can't burn him. I can't do it. Let's just roll him up in a carpet and throw him out with the trash.
Right. And that's what I was watching it okay, that was supposed to be, I guess, an emotional moment. I'm sitting here this all
when you go kill
well and good, but when you go do exactly, I was okay, girl, but let's finish the job. So to me, I was just like, all right, okay, come on, the burning. Let's get with the burning, and there was no burning. You should have saw my face the minute there. He was like, we just rolled him in a carpet and left him on the side. I was like, you did what?
Excuse me.
And I was like, okay, so you just gave yourself a head start then to run. That's all they did.
And you're processing that in the moment. Like, damn, Louis, you're not even really gonna kill him, right? Like you
Right.
Louis, are you that in love with this man that it really will bother you? And then you kind of start thinking, well, Claudia clearly don't care. Why is she okay with this? And then we start to see what Daniel Malloy has been seeing this entire time. Well, you and I have been talking about, right? The about Interview with the Vampire, the TV show, and the movie is that the movie was Louis' retelling of the events the first time. The TV show is Louis' retelling of the events the second time. And sometimes those things don't add up. And so Daniel's like, so you're saying that you killed Lestat, but you didn't actually kill Lestat. Like, I'm not stupid. You watched him. You refused to burn his body. In fact, you threw him in the dump to where he could potentially feed on big ass rats. If you've ever been to and been there when the sun comes up as they are cleaning the streets, New Orleans has rats that would rival New York. Okay, I'm talking about big ass walking on two legs ass rats that come out to feed off of all the like debauchery that happened the night before. Daniel puts this together because Louis is a liar. He is a liar. Louis has been tearing pages out of Claudia's notebook. You know, we see that before. Sometimes he does it to spare Claudia, but it does seem like sometimes he's doing it to spare himself. And Daniel is able to see through that idea that despite all of this, Mari, I think Daniel even says, Louis, you need like help. You are damaged. I think he said you need like the same military PTSD therapy that they get for people who watch their loved one blow up, like watch their platoon member blow up in combat. That's how much trauma you've been through for you to still, at this point, be saving this murderer who admits to being roughly 170 years old, 140 years old,
180,
180. Yeah, 180 years old. And you still are like, I don't just wrap him in a carpet. Louis, such a victim here. Such a victim. But like, he's in it. He's lost in the sauce.
I mean, at least he knows. Claudia was like, I need you to, just give your heart to him, just play your part. And he's like, I will lose myself in him. Like, at least you know, you can't stand up.
He can't.
Not even in death. He can't stand up. So he needs all of that. He needs the deprogramming. He needed all of that.
He's an addict. You know how when people who like alcoholics and drug addicts, once they are an addict, they're an addict forever, right? You can go to Alcoholics Anonymous. You can go to treatment for your other, drugs, but you have to come off of them. It's not, okay, I'm gonna do drugs sometimes. I'm an alcoholic sometimes. It's like you're an alcoholic the rest of your life, and you should like always manage that. And here, this episode really required Louis to let Lestat back in, because as the episode starts with Claudia and Louis kind of like plotting on Lestat's death, it was tense in that household because Lestat had just decided, I'm gonna hold y'all hostage. Y'all ain't gotta be in love with me, but y'all not going nowhere.
Right. Yeah, tense to say the least. They say that they didn't even pretend to like each other at that point. And I'm like, again, what are we choosing to do with our immortal life that we're given? Like, there has to be something better around the corner somewhere. Like, this can't be what we're gunning for here. So but I guess Lestat is like, if I can't have Louis the way that I want him, nobody can have him. We all gonna be miserable. We all gonna be mad up in here. So
it's such good writing. It really is, because you can see that in like your normal life with people like who like, nah, if it ain't me, there ain't nobody. And you're like, damn, that's crazy. But to think that you have to do that for an eternity, you think like at some point you go get out. But when someone like who has this much power and strength over you, who can like read other people's minds and all kinds of, who can fly, and you're like, damn, if I wanted to get out of this abusive relationship, I couldn't. Like, I am a hostage, and he's fine with us being hostages. He's like, we will live here until y'all all just decide to be happy, because I'm fine. I am going to be okay. Y'all are not going to out miserable me. I'm going to be the last one.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, y'all want to see angry brooding? I can show you. I've had over 100 more years of this. Like, he's probably like, this isn't even the worst situation I've been.
No. Look, he like, this ain't. I see some things. Yeah. So something interesting happens in this episode. We see that a postman is leaving mail on their doorstep. And now, of course, we see other things left on their doorstep, Bibles and letters and dolls. Like, the city is fed up with them. They're like, y'all gotta go. Or whatever.
Pentagrams.
Right. Like, they're like, this is the devil's house. Like, we're not just gonna act like it's not. So this postman, they read his mind, they find out that he is leaving a letter. And so when they bring him in, he's like, thank God I found y'all. Like, hey, whatever y'all got, I want it. I want in. Turns out he's dying of cancer. Lestat will eat him and then determine, like, oh, this is cancer blood, nasty, ill. And so because he's dying of cancer, Lestat gets the idea that, hey, I think we gotta go. I think the people are getting way too interested in us. We've been here for a while. It's very clear we're not aging. They know this is not a house that the Lord has made, and so it's like, with them like sending people here looking for help, and even sending people here to vandalize the house, that kind of thing, like put in the dolls and the Bibles and stuff like that. They want us gone. People are not afraid to knock on the door. We gotta go. And so they start to plan this escape. Now, Lestat is doing his normal Lestat things, right? Like, oh, where should we go? Should we go to Greece? Should we go to Buenos Aires? Like, his thing. But Claudia has a different plan. She's like, I don't even want to make it that far. I'm trying to kill him before we leave. And so her big deal is that she wants to do a party so that she can like lull him into a false insecurity and then kill him when he least suspects it. What do you think about Claudia's plan?
Well, we really don't know Claudia's full plan, right? Because Louis is telling us through his point of view that he knows she is planning, but she is not telling him all of the plans because, again, he's the weak link.
He can't be trusted.
Right.
Louis, please.
And it just so happens that the coinciding of the dying man coming to their door, basically spooking Lestat into, like, he said the next thing is pitchforks, and he's like, I've seen this before with his 100 years of experience. He's like, we have to go. So it's the perfect cover because Lestat thinks they're all going, so they're all getting their money in order, getting their affairs in order. So it's the perfect cover to then get all that together, kill him, and then the two of them go off. And so Claudia is hatching up a plan basically by herself, and she's trying to get Lestat to throw a ball, Mardi Gras ball, a masquerade ball, if you will. And it's kind of comical how he kind of falls into that trap-ish, like her suggesting it first, and just again they're tete-a-tete with them, like he's like, I hate you. Like,
she's like, I hate you too, but we should have a party.
Exactly. It's way wittier than what we're saying, but it is essentially like, you get on my freaking nerves. Like, and they're trying to outplay the piano and each other. But she's saying, like, Mardi Gras is, it's on the 6th, and then she tells Louis to disagree, and they're going back and forth. So it's her idea is let's do the party, let's do a party, and let's and then my plan will unfold from there.
Yeah, and the thing about Claudia is that throughout, like Mari said, she's not even she's not even trying to pretend like she likes him or enjoys him. In fact, she wants him more suspicious of her. So the things she's doing, she never lets up, because I think by trying to play nice, that's the most suspicious thing of them all, right? Like, it's like,
right,
if he's all of a sudden, I'm Uncle Les again, and we're best friends. Oh, so now y'all best friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, nobody would believe that, because think about it. The last thing I did was basically threaten to grind your bones into ashes. So now all of a sudden you want to have a party and we all gonna be a happy family. Okay. So Claudia knows that ain't gonna work. So she tells Louis, you let yourself fully immerse yourself in the Lestat experience, but leave just a little part for me to come in and snap you out of it. Because when it's time to move, it's gonna be time to move. Now, the things that she does to piss Lestat off are so entertaining to me. I like when she sits down and she's like, "Oh, let's play something. Let's play something on the piano." He's just like, "You don't have any respect for the music." She starts talking in French, and we know Lestat doesn't like French. He's like, "Oh, here we go." And so, like, everything she does is just like taunting at him and poking him and this, that, and other. So the idea of throwing this lavish ball it should not get his attention, but he obviously sees like she's doing something, right? Like trying to have a Mardi Gras ball and at the level that they want to have it by starting that planning in January, it's actually impossible. Like you cannot do that in New Orleans. Mardi Gras is planned at least a year out. Once the last Mardi Gras stops, they start planning the next Mardi Gras. You showing up in January, like I think I want to do a parade and I want to be on the flow and I want nobody's going for that. And so Lestat already is like, this is crazy, but I'll entertain it. And so it leads them to having to go and make the necessary steps to get this to happen. They have to go to Mr. Anderson, who we have not seen in a while. It's been 14 years since they've spoken to him. So he is also very confused as to why they are on his doorstep, but also why they think they can do this party. But they're able to appeal to him and get him to say yes.
Oh, that's a very nice way of saying bribe. Bribe him with money. Lots and lots of money. Yeah. And a whole ship, you know,
a boat,
which I'm sure is expensive to make. Yeah, they bribe them. They throw their money around because, again, that's what you should be doing if you're hundreds of years old and have lots of money and you want to have fun. Bribe people to throw parties for you, you know. And I think that, you know, this is the moment when Lestat kind of comes around, because it's kind of like that whole Anderson is like, it's January, what are you talking about? You can't do that. It, you know, Mardi Gras is happening in a month. And I think just the fact that it would upheave what's going on appeals to Lestat. Like, I have the power to change all of y'all. Been doing all this for a year, don't matter, we come in here, we change it. So they are on board at this point.
Claudia's appealing to his,
and he gets to be king.
Yeah, sorry, that's what it is. Yeah. His flair for the dramatics and like this lavishness and just like you said, just it's almost like this chaotic energy that he has. It's like on the outside, it's very like poised and put together and posh, but then on the inside, it's like, how dare you? How dare you tell me I can't do something? How dare you? What, you laugh at the idea that I could be king? I will turn this Mardi Gras around. You know, like he's just like. So that part is the part that actually has his attention. And that is the distraction that Claudia needs. Mr. Anderson will even say to Lestat, like, he wants to be the king of the parade. And they cut to Lestat, like, looking like, motherfucker, like, how dare you? Like, so I will kill you right now. Mark, one thing I've noticed about this show is that people are not afraid of scary people enough. You know, like, these people are not aging. And Mr. Anderson is like, what's up? Like, y'all got to deal with the devil. Like, what y'all come? He's like dropping slurs and all kinds of. These people will kill you.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, I have a picture here of us in 1910. That was 20-some years ago. This is weird, but we just gonna still poke the bear. Like, what are we doing? Right. What is going through your head here? Like, if I'm seeing these people who aren't aging, I have no concept of vampires. I still know I'm not gonna mess with them.
Right.
They know something I don't.
Right. Like, here's evidence that y'all are not aging right here. What are we going to do about that? It's like, sir, you and that evidence about to disappear. Why are you acting like this?
Again, proceeds to slur. Like, what are we? Why? Okay. All right, Mr. Anderson.
He might be a little too comfortable in his straight whiteness.
There you go.
Feeling a little untouchable. Yeah. Now, this is the group that will touch you, okay? They're going to take you out. So the bribes are being sent out. The money is coming in. And the city is ready to find out more about these weird brothers and their doll-like sister that has been drawing so much attention. I'm sure this is New Orleans. New Orleans is a place where lore of, you know, the mystical and things like that, it helps fuel the city. You know, I remember when you and I went to New Orleans. Yeah, like we did like the ghost tour, and like we were like walking around. We actually saw
the Voodoo Museum.
Yeah, we saw where they filmed Interview with the Vampire season 2. Like they were filming some of the scenes from season 2. So it's like we saw that. We're like, oh, this is so dope that all of that is a part of the appeal of being there. So although it is scary to think about, this is also the city that would get you to go. Like, we went to the Voodoo Museum. We went on the ghost tour. You would think those things should say, stay away, Black people. But it's New Orleans. We're like, well, these ghosts, you know, they probably, if anybody,
they ain't mad at us.
Yeah, they ain't mad at us. You know, they're surprised. Yeah. So Louis is now fully in on seducing Lestat by letting himself be seduced by Lestat, and then
Mhm.
also letting
Mhm.
Lestat be seduced by the flair of all of this partying. You can tell he's getting swept up in the idea of it, what it's going to be like, and Lestat's even throwing out some well-planted ideas. He's like, "Oh, we should starve ourselves for 7 days. That'll make me really hungry, Claudia." And she's like, "That'll make you really hungry." Like they're still playing chess, even
Yeah.
though even though they're not actually playing chess.
Yeah, like he's getting more and more into it. The costumes for him on the float. I was like,
Incredible.
in 1939, New Orleans, where are you getting away with this?
He said, "I'm gonna be gay in front of y'all, and I'm a fake bite a baby." And so
Dog. I was like, what is happening? Me clutching my pearls
right.
in 2025.
And
So I can't even
obviously
imagine.
those things do turn people away. Like people are like, no, this is too weird. I can't do it. But there are still the people who are like, I
It's
still want to
Mardi
see.
Gras.
It's Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when we do
Yeah.
stuff like this. Let's show
Mhm.
up. And so they also have this idea to select some VIPs to have one final feeding like frenzy amongst this group. And so there's going to be very select people that they choose, and they get to walk around and try to select these people while handing them boutonnieres. Now we find out this is when Louis reveals that Claudia's plan is to poison the blood at the party. She goes and gets some arsenic and all this other stuff because she's like, all right, we poison them, that'll take them down, then we can kill them. And so the question is, who is she going to poison? She does not tell Louis, but she's very heavily leaning into like who she could pick because she presents twins to Lestat. Now I thought this was so funny because there's like this like almost like this I don't know what is like this erotic fixation with like twins that people have. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, you got one person that you
Weird.
could have sex with, but now you got the same person twice. It's very odd, but it's always been in media. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how that
And
became a
it and
thing.
it's always from the third point of view, because from the third point of view, it's like, I am having sex with two hot people. But it's like, but from that other side, they're related. So that's
Yeah.
weird. Like, you know,
I'm not going to be there for that.
right.
If that's a twin Chappelle naked, other Chappelle is not there. Like, it's not a thing.
Right. But it's the thing, it's that taboo fantasy that people get swept up in, and Lestat is swept up in it.
Yeah, because he's smelling, you got rosemary in your garden. I said, is that a euphemism? What does that mean?
Right.
So Lestat, you can't ask somebody if they got rosemary in their garden. That's nasty. What you trying
That's
to say?
TMI.
Yeah, what you think is in their man garden? But yeah, these are the things that they know will appeal to Lestat. But if Lestat is paying attention, he should know that they would know that this would appeal to Lestat. So there's a lot going on. We see Tom Anderson and Louis actually have an interaction where Louis briefly starts hearing some thoughts around. He hears a woman's voice, and then he hears Tom's voice. Now Tom will distract Louis completely, not on purpose, but he's just kind of like, this is y'all's last night, and I got a few more slurs for y'all. He's drunk, he's feeling it. He's like, whatever, I gave y'all what y'all wanted. Y'all about to get out of my hair. I don't care. You this, you that, you this, they that, you this, you that. And you can tell that it's still a part of Louis that, even like as a vampire, but a black vampire and a black queer vampire, he's like, that really bothers me. Like it's like I could like the way I have to still restrain myself. That was what we talked about in episode 1. This man had always been code switching, always trying to appease other people, trying to be an agreeable, light-skinned black man, and now here he is, and he's like, I still got to do it just a little bit longer.
Just a little bit longer. Yep. And again, Tom Anderson just feeling himself completely here. And he gets what he deserves.
Mari, do you watch the show with the captions on?
Yes, I do.
Oh, so you know the voice that Louis heard.
So it went by so quickly. I was like, Louis, I was like, wait, who's that? Like, I completely missed it.
Really?
I did. I actually did. I don't know what it I don't know. But I was just I heard the voice, it was gone so quickly. Then when I did look down to the captions, it said Tom Anderson and it was him
Oh,
whispering. And I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, okay." And then the whole excuse of like, "Oh, it's the thing, we have that here in DC, the echo chamber thing."
yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, okay." So that wasn't the original voice, but okay, you know. So I did. Luckily, I just wasn't looking down at the captions at that point.
It's better for the review because I saw the
Yeah.
like in this second watch, I saw the caption, and when I saw it, my initial reaction was, "This this hoe's still alive? Like, why is she still here?" So like that was my thing. Like, what? um, but Louis and Lestat eventually go and talk on the balcony, and they have some final thoughts about their time in New Orleans. Remember, Louis and Lestat have been talking about relocating. Louis throughout Greece, and Lestat's like, "Nah, they like the sun too much. Them Italians, they'll catch on very quickly. We got to go somewhere else." He decides on Buenos Aires, and so that's where they're gonna go to start their
Which
new
is
life.
which is kind of funny because they were also in a movie theater. It's 1939. It's right at the peak of the rise of the Nazis, and it's
Yeah,
just kind of funny that they pick Argentina when, in a few not short years, but in a few years that's going to be the fleeing and hiding spot for the Nazis as well.
yeah, that's gonna be popping. um, oh, Lestat. Before we get too far into this party, I forgot about one thing. What do you think about Lestat using his massive amount of power to slap this man around in the movie theater?
That was kind of hilarious. That was very hilarious.
Like,
Again, this is what we need to be using these powers for. I just thought it was funny that everybody else in the movie theater was just like,
so anyway,
they're like, this guy is smacking himself for some reason, but I need to know about what's going on with Nazi Germany and the rise of Hitler. Like,
right,
rightfully
right.
so.
That was the moment where Lestat was like, they're awful people, but the tailoring is impeccable. And Claudia's like, yeah, a well-dressed dictator, huh? Who would
Right?
have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I was like, I know Lestat just like, I just want to kill you so bad. um, so after their talk on the balcony about their final days in the city and in the United States and their new life that they're going to go start, all the boutonnieres have been passed out, and Louis and Lestat are about to go do the unthinkable, the unspeakable. Two men, an interracial couple of men, are about to do a waltz in front of a room full of people in Mardi Gras. And
Who happen to be vampires? Like, pick your poison. What
which
what can you
one
be
you want
mad
to be
at here?
outraged about?
Yeah.
They even kiss, and the crowd like,
Yeah.
I'm like, now y'all had to know they've been living
The
in that house
mysterious
this whole time.
brothers.
Y'all had to know they've been kissing. They're like, we knew they was kissing, but we didn't think we gonna see it
Right. They're like, you didn't have to do it right in front of my salads.
in front of my salad. In front of my salad. So, um, eventually Claudia will will interrupt the dance. She's like, "Can I cut in?" She's dancing. Louis like, "Oh, this is a great night." She's like, "Hey, wake up! Wake up! I see you in it. You're drinking the love juice. Come back. Get out of your strands. I have poisoned the twins. It's one of the twins. I won't tell you which one because I can't trust you, but it's one of them. And so now we have to get this VIP group up to our room to talk to them about the elixir of life. Mari, they dropped the philosopher's stone here.
Love it.
For the Harry Potter fans out there, the Sorcerer's Stone, etc., etc., etc. And because that's what really drew these people in, right? It's the idea that not only was it the mystique around Louis and Lestat and Claudia living in this house and seemingly not aging, but it was like, how can I get some of that? What do I have to do to have that? And Lestat is giving them exactly what they want. He's saying, in my, growing up, I came across this elixir of life. I think his name was Nicholas Flamel. He hooked me up, and he's an alchemist and blah blah blah. And he's just like telling them, like, and I have the key. The fountain of youth is right here in front of you in this little cauldron or whatever. And if the story didn't hit hard enough, they also go to reveal their exact ages. We actually get like some hard dates on when these people were turned, how old they were. I know you got a kick out of that.
I did. I was doing the math.
Write it down.
I was like, finally. Oh my God. Like,
do you have the dates and ages?
So just from memory, Claudia was born in 1903. She took the elixir of life in 1917. Yeah.
Hmm.
And she would be 36. So
Hmm.
that puts puts that story here at 1939, I believe. So which
Yeah,
coincides with the again the rise
the
of the
Nazis.
Nazis.
Hmm.
Louis was born in what was it,
Eight,
1876? Oh, 8.
78.
Okay. He took the elixir of life in 1910, I believe it was.
Hmm.
He is now 61.
Yeah,
And then the stats was harder. I was like, "Ooh,
yeah.
that's a lot of sevens."
1760. He was
Yeah.
born. He took the elixir of life at 1794, so at 34 years old, and
Mhm.
he is now 180 years old. Or he will be 180 years old this year. So he's a
Mhm.
179-year-old vampire. So as you talked about before, the older the vampire, the stronger they are typically.
Yeah, yeah. Typically, in most lore, that is correct. Yeah, because it's not just about being old, it's about, again, taking care of yourself,
Mhm.
honing your skills and your powers, becoming a super predator, all of that. So yeah.
And speaking of super predators, we opened the elixir of life to find nothing. There's nothing there.
Because Tom Anderson can't wait.
Right.
As soon as he hear them dates, he's like, "Give me that." Just like a
You know, it was that 180 that really sealed the deal. Because Lestat,
Mhm.
that's a good looking man. You know, like he got the women in shambles at the party. He's like walking around like, "Are you the girl that I pulled behind the bleachers that day?" And she's like, "Yeah, it was me. My husband dead. What's up?" You know, so
I was
they
trying
got
to
like,
figure out what would be a good time to talk about how good Sam Reed looks. My God. Jesus. Okay. Sorry. Like, Lestat was giving all episode, even in his float when he's uh killing a
a
fake
baby.
baby. I'm pretty sure the baby was fake. Yes. Uh, I hope.
I think that was a real baby, but
I
like
wasn't sure.
he fake killed the baby, but it was a real
I,
child.
I have no clue what that situation was.
It was too much.
But he looks so good in his way. They all three of them did look
Louis
so
that white
good in it.
wig that said, "Where did you get this lace front?"
Ugh, they look great. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. All right. There's
No,
things over.
it
There's
takes
things.
me back to when we talked about in episode 1 that when people saw Sam was the new Lestat, they were like, "He can't be
Mhm.
like a Tom Cruise type. Like he couldn't be Tom
'Cause
Cruise. Like,
he's better. What?
like what? This man is killing Tom Cruise. Are you crazy? Like, what are we talking about?"
Tom Cruise found dead because Tom Cruise. That was the bar. Even young Tom Cruise, he's washing. He's getting washed.
Look, with the Sam stands are all out in numbers now. Like we're preaching the
Count
gospel.
me amongst them.
So so yeah, super predators here. They are now about to go
Mhm,
kill all these people. And it becomes very
mhm,
gruesome. This is one of the few times that the show actually kind of leans into the vampire-isms
mm.
of the show, right? Like a lot of times it's very like dramatic and it's a love story, it's abusive, it's so many layers. But then for like the next 10 minutes, it is a vampire story. Like we are eating people
Chappelle, when I tell you that picture of them coming around the corner,
in the
like
white
all 3 of
with the
them in the
blood.
white with the
I
blood,
almost
I was
screenshot it to put it up
me
on the
thank you.
YouTube.
I was like, "This needs to be a thumbnail. This
Put it in the
might be my
little,
new background on my
yeah.
on my computer." Like, my God, just art.
All right.
Hang it in the Louvre for some people to come and steal it. Like,
Yeah. And steal it and
this
give
is
it to
great.
me. You know, high art. Um, I like I like this so much because vampires are typically this is a horror genre, right? And
Mhm,
you know me, I'm mildly indifferent to like into horror. Like I'm not, it
mhm.
doesn't scare me, but it also doesn't appeal to me. But this, like, I feel like it's not scary at all for one, but it just makes me feel like they are the protagonist. They are the murderous protagonist in this story. And so it's like as they're killing people, I'm not like, oh my God, jumping and all this other stuff. I'm more like, get him. Yeah, get him. Make sure
Mhm,
you get Anderson.
mhm.
Make sure you get that guy. You know, like you're
Same.
rooting for these people or these
Mhm.
vampires to murder these people so that they can escape.
Yep. Yeah. And most of those people were dicks too. So you're
Yeah.
just like, I kind of felt bad for the woman, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine.
No,
Yeah, she
it
there.
is a she
Yeah.
there,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was great. Yeah, I was like, don't let him escape. Yep, yep, yep. Get
Yep. Yep. Yep.
him.
So then comes the moment of truth. They save
Mhm,
just one twin for Lestat, who obviously knows something is up, right? Like this cannot be more obvious. And I love that Louis doesn't know the plan. Louis doesn't know the plan, so he's actually doing this in the most obvious way. He's like, "Here, Lestat, we have this person right here. He's standing next to him, like, this is for you." Claudia's like, "A meal for a king." Lestat like, "A
mm.
king, right?
Not
Okay,
Lestat. Remember he said, "My love.
my
We saved
love," and
one
he's
for
like,
you, my love."
my love, and like unless that's supposed to be like, oh, thank you, I guess, oh, I'm
Mhm.
just I guess I'll just blindly drink this person, blah blah blah. um
Who's barely reactive to anything.
right. So as this is happening, he's magicking the door open, like usually like
Mhm.
the doorknob comes off, the door opens or whatever, and then we see a footstep walk in. Mari, what's going through your mind as the foot is, as you saw the foot?
Mhm. I was like, okay, so it's about to be the woman from earlier. Uh, Chappelle, why did it take me a beat to realize who it was? Like,
Like,
I
who
don't
the
know
hell
why
is
she
that?
looked. I was like, she looked different. I was like, who's this old broad? Like, what is going
Well,
on?
she aged for a long time before they changed her. She
Exactly.
was not turned in 1917 like Lottie
Yeah.
was. I think she was turned
Yeah.
closer to probably like, a few years ago, it seems.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah, in the mid third, maybe around 1930s ish. Yeah, like
And
so.
at least enough to have been there to overhear Claudia's plan for escape. Um,
Mhm,
we see Antoinette enter the room. And this is like
mhm.
this is supposed to be the twist of the episode, is that like Antoinette, she's still alive. That
Yep,
really, Mari, that really pissed me off. That like
I
the
know.
fact it wasn't that she was like, it wasn't that like, oh yeah, we had a foil in the plan. Cool, whatever. We will find out that Claudia kind of planned for that too. But
Yeah,
for me, it was like, you still playing in this man's face. You
she's
still
still
playing in this
here.
man's face. She's still
Mhm.
here. And now on top of that, you made her a vampire and you like, she ain't going nowhere. We're gonna kill Claudia and replace her. And now you got to be the third. And the Lestat's gonna have a wife and a husband over here. And he gonna be able to have his cake and eat it too in the same household. And Louis can't do nothing. I was like, this the man is diabolical. Like that.
Diabolical. This is he tried to move his mistress in the house with his mane.
After killing the other girl, like the sister, like you just gonna kill that man, daughter, sister right in front of him, and then
Daughters. And then think this gonna float.
and then what they gonna do? They can't do nothing to stop him. He's so
Mhm,
powerful. So
mhm.
yeah, we find out that Antoinette is now a vampire, and she has been following them and listening in on their secret conversations. And we knew again, Claudia, so good, Mari. Earlier in the episode, Louis like, she don't even talk to me that much and like mentally. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like she only does it every
Yep,
now and then. It's like she's
mhm,
picking her spots. She's like,
yep.
where are these public locations, places where people can overhear us, things like that. Those are the times where she's revealing pieces of the plan. And it's perfect because while Lestat and Antoinette now have the upper hand, they are fighting. They're about to kill Claudia. Lestat's about to move the mistress in. Things are getting real. But Claudia has planned for everything. She like,
Mhm.
nah, Lestat has already been poisoned. We didn't poison the twin. In fact, we poisoned Tom Anderson because we knew that Lestat's petty ass could not help it. Which is,
Technically, she poisoned both.
yeah,
She just poisoned
she
she
did.
just poisoned the twin more obviously. She
Yeah.
poisoned the twin earlier in the night so that by the time they got to this point, it was obvious he was
Mhm.
poisoned. Tom Anderson was poisoned right before they get together. So like I was like, okay, so who did she poison? But as soon as it was revealed that she poisoned somebody else, I was like, oh, it had to be Tom Anderson because
It
he
had to.
was the only other one that was like acting real drunk right around
Mhm.
the fountain of youth thing. So good on her. That was a great little switcheroo there.
Yeah, Lestat fell victim to the same pettiness that that we have been seeing from him throughout. Just like
Yeah.
it's like the audacity of you to talk crazy to me, to think that you could like stand next to me in a conversation when I've been around for 100 years and then some, and I'm more powerful than you can ever imagine. Yes, I am going to feed on you. Absolutely. And I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to rip. And he did. When he was eating Tom
Mhm.
Anderson, he's like, woo, like
Yep.
he didn't taste no rosemary with Tom Anderson. Like he didn't pick up on a hint of it.
Because again, the hunger too. The
Yeah.
hunger probably, you know,
Yeah.
overrode the hunger and the hatred because
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is
It was,
smart. That mhm.
yeah. And obviously, like, rosemary is not the poison, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't taste like, he wasn't like, what's in there? You know, he was just like, oh yeah, this
Yeah.
is great. Now, this was Lestat's plan to to starve himself for 7 days. Because remember,
Yeah.
he's trying to lure Claudia
It
into
was
this
3 days.
Yeah, no, he's like, let's a week before, let's just like stop eating. How about that? So then we can come in. I don't know if it was maybe it was 3 days, but yeah, regardless,
Mhm.
he like, let's be hungry. That'll get them.
Yeah.
Claudia, wouldn't you love that? If I'm just like so hungry, I can't resist people. And the whole time she's like, I bet you want me to think that you would be so hungry that you can't resist people. Like, it's just so good. And Mari, she did it. She won.
She did. She won. It was masterful. And it's just because Claudia has always known about Antoinette. She's always clocked Antoinette's tea. Always. She's
Always.
always been one step above her
I
because
hate
Antoinette
her.
is not smart.
No.
That's why Lestat wants her as a third because she's stupid. Let's be
Mhm.
real. Like she don't know what's going on. She let this man chop her real finger off when I really feel like
Any
Antoinette
random
would've
finger
done.
would do.
Talking about she gonna go to Hollywood and be in the movies. Girl, look at you. You old. Oh,
You see how orange you look?
yeah, girl. Oh my god. So yeah, Claudia gets up, stabs at Antoinette in the heart with a fire poker to keep her in place.
Mhm.
To hurt her and to keep her in place in order for them to down Lestat. Because again, just like we saw with Louis, cuts to the neck, all of that, it downs a vampire, but they're not dead. They can still regenerate. All it takes is time,
Mhm.
as long as their full body isn't burnt in the sun or burnt in fire, they can slowly regenerate and recharge.
Yeah. And they, kill kill Antoinette, and live happily ever after.
Okay.
Psych.
Psych, but let's talk about when they threw Antoinette in that furnace.
Alive.
Yes.
I know Claudia was like, finally.
Yeah. We smoking that Antoinette pack
On that pack.
tonight.
Smoking on Pookie Low.
Yes.
Finally got rid of her. I'm so sick of her ass. I just die. And then they of course do the whole we can't kill Lestat too. We gotta he dead. We just gotta throw him and wrap him in a blanket. And I was like, Louis, like you sad man. So they wrap Lestat up. They throw him in the dump. Daniel correctly points out that that's not how you kill a vampire. In fact,
Right.
you've been lying. And so Daniel starts to point out some of his observations, and Daniel has been
Before
making
that,
them throughout. Oh, what's up?
real quick, I kind of agreed with Louis in a sense of like you're not just gonna throw him in the incinerator. Like that just does seem a little bit demeaning for him to go out the same way that they've
Fuck
been
that.
I thought they were gonna I thought they were gonna light the whole house on fire. Like that's
Oh
what I
yeah,
thought was gonna happen. That's what I
look,
thought.
a little bit more dramatic for Lestat. I think you're right.
Exactly.
I think
Yeah,
you're right.
that's what I was expecting
Yeah.
before this. Yeah.
I think Daniel even said that too. He said, like, what y'all do? Burn the house? Like, where y'all gonna burn the house down while all the people were in it? Lestat in there
Right.
too. Like Daniel is like you. He's like, this is Lestat. You can't just kill Lestat. You gotta kill Lestat. You gotta like chop his head off, and then, like you said, chop his head off, burn him alive, throw away the ashes, like scatter him to the wind, bury a part of him over there. This is a big moment. You're supposed to revel in this. And instead, Louis like, I can't do it. So Daniel has been making observations this whole time. I will say this, as an interviewer, he is very good at his job because he sees through Louis' bullshit, and he has been for the last few days. This is session number 7, and I think every day Daniel has caught a little bit and a little bit more about some of the inconsistencies in this story. One of the things Daniel points out is that, like, so you mean to tell me, obviously, that you threw this man in a situation where he could regenerate. You're sitting here talking about it being murder, but it's not murder. You spared his life. And I don't know if it's love or if you just traumatized or whatever the case may be, but you spared his life. And I'm picking up that Claudia didn't like that. We see that Louis has removed pages from Claudia's diary that would tell firsthand accounts of Claudia's at least perspective of what happened way back then. But now all we have is to take Louis' word for it. And as Daniel has been pointing out since episode roughly 2, Louis' word is not always great. And so he also has been paying close attention to Rashid. Now, Mari, we get a big reveal here with Rashid because Daniel's like, Rashid, you're weird. First of all, they've been staring at each other this entire time, right? Like this entire episode, Rashid and Daniel just mugging each other. Like Rashid looking like, I don't like you. Like, yeah, you can feel the tension. Mind you, Daniel just had a dream that Rashid was there in San Francisco. So I was thinking maybe Rashid had read his mind and was like, oh, he's on to me, that kind of thing. And so now it's a lot more tense. But he points out that, Rashid, I've seen Louis feed on you, and you were just like fine. But Louis fed on that bouncer, that 200-pound guy, and he passed out in front of us. And we saw that there were several moments where Louis would reveal things about Rashid to Daniel just by reading his mind. He's like, oh yeah, he's like 180 pounds. He's like, no, it was like 150 pounds or something like that. Like he was telling him all the specs that Daniel was wondering in his head because he was trying to piece together, who is this? Like who is he?
Yeah. And I noticed that as well. Like Rashid didn't like pass out or anything like that. We talked about the prospect of him being like a human servant or a Renfield. But it was last episode with the San Francisco thing. I was like, okay, so he has to be something more than that. But I thought this was a really good reveal here. I didn't see it coming. I'm not even gonna pretend like I did.
No, I think this is really hard to see coming because while Daniel is putting this together, Rashid, like, he has Louis on the ropes. He basically like, Louis, you a liar. You a liar, and you need help. You need to see the lady. Like, you need to go talk to somebody because this ain't it. He says, this is you all over again, paying a whore to listen to you. What was it? A couple million, what was it? $20 million, I think he promised Daniel or something like that.
Yeah, 10 million for his daughters.
$10 million to listen to me lie, basically. And so that you can retell this event because you got a story on your heart that you want to tell so bad. You want to tell this romantic story of you and Lestat so bad, Louis. Oh my God, we get it. You love him, but stop trying to make this a romantic. And the whole time, Rashid is like, all right, I'm
in the background. Did you see him in the background? I was like, oh God, what this man finna do?
Oh, sorry. What is he gonna do? The man started flying. I said, oh, so now everybody can cloud power. Now can fly. Who else can fly?
I just heard the words that you just said, but the whole time I was staring in the background. He's just taking his gloves off. I was like, oh
God. Yeah. Sorry. Daniel, like, wait a minute. You can't be a vampire. I saw you standing in the sun. And Rashid's like, I mean, that's for normal vampires. I'm 514 years old. The sun don't scare me, baby. What? I'm not Rashid. I'm the vampire Armand. Mari, it's Antonio Banderas. I said, I know him.
Yeah, what a G. That's such a G move. Yes, vampires. I think I can't remember how I said it on here before, but like vampires that get to that like multiple centuries, almost 1,000 years old, they do get to a place like where they don't even go down at night. Like with Interview with a Vampire here, they've been kind of sketchy about like if they actually like go down at night. It seems as if like they lay in their coffin together and they be sexing at night. So it doesn't seem like they go down at night, but normally vampires revert back to like their corpses at night. They're down. They're I said at night. I meant dead. During the day. Yeah, sorry, during the day. During the day. I apologize. So during the day. And so normally what happens is if you're a young vampire, when the sun, as soon as the sun hits the horizon, boom, you're done. You're down like a corpse. Wherever you're at, you're down. Then as you get older, you can start to like stay up a little bit longer into like the dusk, the twilight. Sometimes you can go, it takes until you're like, it's like midnight for you to go down. But essentially by the time you're 500, 1,000 years old, it's like he said, the sun has no more power over me. And you have to become very, very, very powerful for that to happen. And Armand clearly is.
Yes.
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas. That's my first thought. When he says that, I go,
Mhm.
oh, it was Antonio Banderas in the movie. So what I know
Mhm.
about Armand is that in the books, I believe he got turned at 17 years old. Clearly, that is not the case. This man is way
Right.
older than 17. So they've
Mhm.
obviously aged him up for the
Like
story.
younger. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
said he's like 20-ish
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. But
Mhm.
yeah, grown ass man. I mean, Antonio Banderas was also not 17, so they've aged him up a couple times.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get the vampire Armand, our big reveal here. He is not affected by the sun, and he is Louis' protector. In fact, he protects Louis all the time. He was there in San Francisco. He protected Daniel there because Louis was gonna kill him, and so.
Mhm.
We're finding out a lot about him. We find out that he is very powerful and that he is indeed the actual love of Louis' life. Mari, what have we been doing here?
This
If
man stays down bad. Just
stays down bad,
mm.
what are we doing? What are we doing, Louis? No, seriously, no, seriously. What is this book? Because you just spent this whole time trying to sell us that you had like the mercy kill the love of your life, only to be like, but then I found another love of my life. Is that book 2? Is that like the second part? What are we doing?
Louis is a serial monogamous, clearly.
He a lover boy. Oh my God. Can you
Yes,
date? Can you date
certified.
around? Yeah. Shit. Um,
Mm,
incredible. Incredible
so good.
ending to a season. We now have a new story to tell because Armand
Mhm,
has documents showing that he is very, very, very old. He's able to
mhm.
produce those documents to Daniel in the moment because Daniel, of course, does not believe this. He's like, what? But no, this man has been around all along, and we have to now find out what his I guess version of the events are because unlike Claudia, Armand is there. We had
Right.
Claudia's diaries to read off of, but Louis had altered those.
Mhm,
He's taken pages out. There are things that he won't talk about, but Armand is there, and so we are potentially going to get both sides of a continuing story in Interview with the Vampire season 2. One thing I wanted to point out is that this takes place in 2020. We know it's COVID time. An
mhm.
Interview with the Vampire
Right.
that would make Louis 142. So even at
Okay.
this point in the story, he's still not as powerful as Lestat was, or at least as
Yeah.
old as Lestat was.
Mhm. When Lestat first turned him. Yeah. Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we don't get any updates on Lestat. We just know he was left in a dump for dead. And we know
We
that
do
Claudia,
see his arm come out of
yeah,
the
we know he
little
ain't
trunk.
dead. Yeah, we know he
Yeah.
ain't dead because he's feeding off the rats essentially, whatever. But we leave him there, and we have questions to answer for season 2. We got to figure out what the relationship between Claudia and Louis is like now that Claudia has allowed Louis to mercifully leave Lestat alive, and then we have to find
Mhm.
out how Armand slash Rashid, but we will now be referring to him as Armand, how he has worked his way into Louis' life and become the love of his life for the last over 20 some odd years at least, because I think there was in San Francisco in the
Mhm.
90s. So yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
So here we are. What you think, Mari?
I'm excited. This was great. This is a great way to end the season, going into another season with so many, like you said, questions to answer and stuff like that. So this was great.
I'm excited to get more honest representation of the story. Because Louis, I'm looking at you crazy. Because why did you tell us that you killed that man? Like you said murder. You said murder. Like are you think we dumb? Like that's just, to me, that was like the most infuriating part of Louis' storytelling was that yes, there are inconsistencies because of the memory, obviously, like it's been a long time. But to
Mhm.
stand there and be like, of course Claudia was mad at me, like I was dealing with stuff. I was in my head, I lost my family, I lost my sister, I'd murdered my love. He's like, murdered?
Mhm.
Like, why are you trying to slip that in there? You did not
E
murder him.
Especially when you told us at the beginning of this session how to murder a vampire, and
Right.
then by the end, you did none of that to murder.
Nothing. He did nothing that he did not decapitate him. He just
Nope.
sliced his neck.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess he assumed like that's the starving part of it. Like, oh, we left him to starve in a dump.
Well, and that's another thing too, because, in some vampire lore, like, you can't starve a vampire to death. You can
Mm,
starve them
to
mad.
weakness. Yeah.
Yeah, mhm, exactly, to weakness and mad, but they
Hmm.
don't die from,
Yeah.
starvation.
If Louis really wanted to kill Lestat, you do the same exact, like, even if he just like, if he was like, hey, I'm not going to decapitate him, I'm not going to burn him or whatever. this same plot, this thing would work if you just threw him in the dump in the sun. Like,
exactly.
yeah, but you like, we wrapped him in a carpet. Like, Claudia had to be looking at him like, are you serious? Are you
Right.
for real?
Exactly. In a trunk that opens from the inside.
If I'm Claudia, I want to fight. You know, like,
Yeah.
you have to imagine
Like,
that again.
I did all of this. I
All of this
executed this perfect plan.
for
And you
us,
do
for
this.
you,
Yeah.
to release you from the shackles of this man and his accent and that hair. Like, you clearly are lost in the sauce, sir. And your last, you let me do all of that just to be like, please, Claudia, let him live.
Please, baby, please.
Stand up. Stand up.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's season 1 of Interview with the Vampire. If you're listening to this and you had a great time talking, listen to us talk about it, please let us know in the comments here on YouTube, youtube.com/@recapkickback. Let us know on our Recap Kickback social media, whatever the case may be, all social media platforms @recapkickback. We have some things to discuss for season 2, but we will be back next time to talk about that. And to see what happens next in this amazing story. Mari, this has been so much fun. I'm so happy that you finally decided to come with me on this journey.
Yes. And why do you continue to not respect my Vampire Corner segment?
It's time.
Okay.
Mari, talk to us about the vampire books you got.
The disrespect.
We did a Mari's book corner for House of the Dragon. If you if you are listening to this now, we did cover House of the Dragon season 1. Mari is also a House of the Dragon enthusiast, so we have that content too. And we left space for Mari to talk about the books. If you want to find that, it is available on our Recap Kickback podcast feed and our YouTube page, youtube.com/@recapkickback. Check it out. Hot D, the Westeros Kickback is available, and Mari gives us all about her book lore. And apparently, we're going to do that for all the stuff we cover at length because Mari has some books to talk about for the vampires.
Yes, you said it like you don't appreciate it.
I love it.
Listeners, please in the comments tell Chappell that you appreciate my vampire recommendations. This is what I do. I recommend things. Shout out to Crime Scene. Like, all right. So, Vampire Quarter. This one's on my Kindle. I don't have the physical copy. Court of the Vampire Queen by Katie Robert. I'm not gonna hold you. This is pure, like, it's pure smut with a little bit of vampires in it. I'm not even gonna hold you. But it is a very interesting story. It's about a main character who she grows up as like a non-powerful person of a vampire. Like her father is a vampire king. He's one of the kings, one of the main vampire kings. He is born to one of his many concubines, and she has no powers to speak of that they know of. They think she's kind of human. So she's cast aside and left as bait for 3 other vampire men that the vampire king is trying to take control of. Basically, it's a what they call it. It's a polyamorous thing. It's smut, y'all. And her and the 3 guys, the 3 vampires, they concoct a plot to take over her dad's kingdom. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like it's good. I said that. Court of the Vampire Queen is the whole. There's 3 books. It's like 3 novellas. So that one is all 3 of them put together. And Katie Roberts does a fantastic job of writing. Like I said, she writes the vampire politics and all of that stuff really, really well. She also writes the smutty parts really well, which that says something, you know. Looking at you, great, 50 Shades of Grey, not a great book, but Katie Roberts is really good. So, Vampire Smut, Court of the Vampire Queen.
All right, check it out, y'all, and check out Mari and all the podcasts that she's doing. Mari, what's going on?
You can find me over on Bluesky at Mari Talks Too Much, where I'm promoting all of our Crime Scene Pod stuff. So if you go to crimescenepod.com, you can subscribe, where me and Sarah Carradine talk all things true crime. We just dropped, it always escapes me. Who Hired the Hitman? We watched ID Discovery anthology series, the first 2 episodes of Who Hired the Hitman with Kimberly from A Date with Dateline, and it was a really fun conversation. We had such a fun time talking about it. And over on buymeacoffee.com/crime scene pod, that's like our kind of like our Patreon, but you can just sling us a couple bucks to get access to exclusive content. There's no, you don't have to sign up for a month to month. Just sling us a couple bucks and then you get access to the content. And what we just dropped was it was crazy. It was wild. So we talked about the documentary Thirst Trap back in September. Thirst Trap was a documentary about basically a fandom that went crazy over this. It was just this white boy TikTok star who would lip sync to old. He would just lip sync to old songs, and these women went crazy for him. And he got a whole documentary about it because the fandom kind of got out of control. And after we had published that, we were reached out to by Storm, a woman named Storm, who was in the documentary as a talking head and who was a part of this fandom that basically turned toxic. And she joined us to spill all of the tea, just so much tea, on the making of the documentary, the behind the scenes of that fandom, stuff that is still going on to this day. She really broke it down, left no stone unturned. It's juicy. If you want juicy gossip, that's where you can find it. So just go to buymeacoffee.com/crime scene pod, sling us any few bucks that you want to, and you'll get access to that exclusive content plus a lot more. So fun times over on Crime Scene Pod. I also was a guest over on the Altar Call pod with Tane, talking about Married at First Sight. Season 19, episode 12. I had such a fun time. If you ask me to talk about ridiculous reality TV, I will be there immediately. A few weeks ago, I was on Black Girls Talking TV with Vic and Kamaria, talking about Survivor, the Merge episode a few weeks back. So just a lot going on. Make sure you follow me over on Bluesky in order to see me posting about where I'm at.
Okay, and you can catch me on the Nothing But Netflix podcast talking about Squid Game: The Challenge. That's my podcast where I talk about reality TV and other things that are on Netflix. So check that out. I've already listed all the fun things we have going on here. Recap Kickback, but the best way of keeping up with all of that stuff is to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and help other people find this podcast so that they can support us and we can support all the content that you'll want to hear from us. Thank you all for listening. This has been so much fun. We'll be back for season 2 next week, but until then, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. We'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
I've been trapped behind Swall Maria, isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreams. The wall is cracked, I'm looking in between it. The world is yours, but man, I gotta see it. They say it's hard, but man, I gotta see it. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.